Okay, it's 10 o'clock. We have one viewer, sadly. I think I've lost something on my hard disk. I have to leave it till later. Right, firstly, I hope I don't cough and splutter so much this week, but I think I'll be doing a lot more. I nearly didn't do this live stream, actually. Sunday night, I started feeling ill. By Monday night, I was very ill, and Tuesday was absolutely horrible. I got some amoxicillin on Tuesday. I fasted for 3.5 days. Didn't eat till late yesterday afternoon, and I'm I wouldn't say fighting fit, but I'm just do this live stream. I wanted to do the grand conspiracy, but it's going to take a bit more background. So this week is just plain conspiracy. Firstly, one or two other things. The American rapper Chris Brown was accused of rape, was arrested for rape in Paris the other day, and that quickly unfolded. Won't add that to the timeline yet, but it sounds like Brown is an easy target. You know, he's a convicted thug. Not a particularly nice person, and men like him are magnets for trouble. It appears to be fortunate though, because as far as I can tell, I mean, if this woman had come forward and claimed, if she come forward in three months' time and claimed he'd raped her, be a different situation. But as it is now, it isn't she said, he said. It's she said, and lots of witnesses who say something different. To my surprise, the Scottish MP Alex Salmond was arrested and he's charged with multiple counts, including 2 attempted rapes. I would like to comment on the veracity of that, or any of that. In Scotland, they need corroboration. I don't know corroboration by volume counts, but certainly his position isn't quite as bad as it would be in England. These women come forward and they suddenly realise they've been raped or sexually harassed or abused a couple of months or years later. Oh, excuse us. So I've been still very not for irregular sleep patterns as well. But it could be a good thing, as Joe Raskin said, when as with the original Salem witch hunt, when these wishes started coming from the people at the top of the tree, politicians and that, it may be that maybe our politicians wake up. I mean, there were a number of politicians being accused of. Well, politicians are an easy target now in the age of social media, but with serious allegations like this, if they can be shown to be totally spurious, or if I say the people at the top really wake up to it can happen to them, they may do something about this ludicrous campaign. Oh, we've got another viewer here, have we? Yes, hello, whoever you are, sir. I assume you're a sir, not a madam. There's a one again. With my trawling and weaponisation hangout, I should have mentioned, I suppose, statutes and limitations. These are very important because a lot of the weaponisation is an attempt to remove statutes and limitations in rape and sexual assault cases. They did that in Canada in the 1980s. There's an attack on them in the United States. It's very fluid in the United States. Some states are quite rigid statutes and limitations. Others are none at all. We have to stop this madness, because it's no man it's safe with these demented hags, free to spew their allegations years and decades later. Today I received a letter from a bloke. I won't say too much about this, but he was convicted fairly recently of historical rapes. I wrote to him for the prisoner location service. I got a letter back. I don't think I'll be able to do anything personally for him, but I will certainly be looking at directing some help towards him from people who can. Yeah, just get back to weaponisation. I think a lot of these cases now are not simply feminists and mental defectives and spiteful women making false allegations. I think some companies will be using them to get rid of undesirable sort of people like executives for various reasons. If you think about it, if you got a guy who's he's not very popular, and you want to get rid of him, this is the ideal way, without a massive payout. It's really terrible what's been going on. I just refuse to believe that you got all these groping and predatory males in high places and women acting like damsels. Oh no, please. If the sort of women who get to boardrooms and positions of power, they're not damsels at all. Yeah, they're not damsels at all. Right, coming on to conspiracy. Be running through some conspiracies on the timeline and some other commentary. Whether you use the word conspiracy, to call somebody a conspiracy theorist, this is certainly for the past 30, 40 years, it's derisory. Oh, he's a conspiracy theorist, yada, yada, yada. Whenever a defendant accuses in somebody on a rape or other charge, says his accusers have conspired against him, or the police have conspired against him, he's ridiculed. Ho, ho, it's all a conspiracy. Ho, ho, ho. And yet, the same prosecuting barrister will go on to prosecute a conspiracy case against other people. I've actually seen this. I've actually seen this in person. It's stupid, dishonest rhetoric. It does play with juries, but not so much now. Now that everybody's conspiratorially minded, and we've all seen the lengths to which, I don't know if any of you are following this Trump-Russian nonsense, but the lengths that people at the top of the FBI and the CIA and the NSA went in order to frame and attempt to remove a sitting president, just absolutely outrageous. And it's all there in black and white, and only because they were so stupid as to use their own. I mean, Struck and Page used government issue phones, for example, for texting. So you can imagine when in lots of conspiracies how much information doesn't actually come to light where there isn't a paper trail. However, going to the timeline, we've got back in 1674, Jane Darcy appeared at the Old Bailey, where she pleaded guilty to taking part in one of the most wicked conspiracies that ever appeared before this court. extracting money from a wealthy man named John Delafont under threat of accusing him of rape, which was then capital. The other parties were a husband and a man named William Walker, and a co-conspirator did not appear in the dock with her. In 1814, James Harris was alleged to have raped Susanna Woodward. She didn't accuse him until she was visibly pregnant. He was arrested, tried and acquitted. But in March 1817, Woodward, her sister Sarah, and her father, believe it, the Reverend Robert Woodward, stood trial at Bedford Assizes, and they were convicted of conspiracy to fabricate a rape allegation. Absolutely outrageous. So they had, I mean, although there were no modern forensics as such in those days, certainly not as hot as DNA, but the authorities did get to the truth. In June 1944, this is an American case. The author Arthur Derunian visited a waitress named June Kelly at her home. 3 days later, there was a plot hatched to frame him for rape. It was a weird one. It was political. Again, justice was done. September 1996. Now this is a girl from Scotland was on a school holiday in Italy, and she didn't want to ride home on a boring bus, so she claimed to have been raped, as you would do. A local man was arrested as she flew home, and a friend backed up her story. Fortunately, again, the truth came out. This is actually there've been a shocking number of cases of quite young girls fabricating allegations of rape and sexual assault. August 1997, this is one made purely for money. On the island of Cyprus, Susan Warburton and her lover Paul Shearsmith, they told the police she was raped in her room by a hotel employee. The idea was this is some sort of compensation scam. Warburton was a mother of 4, which begs the question: why was she gallivanting on Cyprus with a lover, not home with the kids? In 2000, 3 men from India, a lawyer and 2 police officers, persuaded a woman to make a false rape allegation against an innocent man, an act of revenge complete with fabricated forensic evidence. India has very strange, unique problems with false rape allegations. It's the only place now where a significant number of false allegations are made for financial purposes. False rape allegations made in the UK purely and entirely for money are very extremely rare. New Zealand, they used to be quite common because of not just false rape allegations, but all sorts of things because of the incredibly generous compensation, the ACC scheme, which I believe has been revoked or amended. But in India has quite unique problems. But having said that, the Indian police really do appear to be up to scratch. Some of you may recall that December 2012 was a truly horrible case, India's daughter, in which a young woman was, she and a male companion were kidnapped on a bus He was beaten up. She was literally raped to death. And there was a massive outcry about it. And the conspirators were, one of them only got 3 years because he was a juvenile. But the others were, I think, they were sentenced to death. I don't know if they've been executed yet, but a really horrible case. It generated right a lot of outrage. But in addition to that, there's been a lot of cases in which clearly false allegations. In 2001, in Australia, a woman named Jennifer Witchard seduced her former lover, Matt Wallace, with the intention of crying rape, and the idea was having him murdered by her co-conspirators. The plan failed. She received a 12-year sentence, which was increased to 15. It was her second false rape allegation. I'm sorry about sniffing. I really have been suffering, believe me. Now we come to another one of girls. In 2002, 2 teenage girls claimed to have been gang raped in a car park in Croydon, just down the road from here. They were identified as Lauren Moran and Zara Harris, and that they claimed, well, a teenage boy and 3 men were arrested, and the truth came out about 3 months later, and they ended up with 10 months and 8 month sentences respectively for making false allegations, conspiracy, two of them obviously. The following year, this is an absolutely incredible story from Chippenham. 2 15-year-old girls visited a man's house, and they attempted to frame him for aggravated rape. They didn't get away with it either. In 2006, one person. Hello, Mr. Kia. No, I don't think we should. I don't think we should do that. We have to educate them. Those who can't be educated have to be marginalised. But no, I don't think we should do that, I'm afraid. In 2006, at Kitui, Kenya, a woman with the alluring name of Lewinsky Naduya Sami framed an assistant chief of a commercial dispute. She faked a rape by having sex with her husband, who was in on the plot. There have been cases in which women have, as I'm sure you know, have inflicted damage on themselves, quite serious damage, in order to fake rape. In 2009, there's a false allegation of indecent assault, but a woman named Tracy Dean roped in 2 other people, including her own daughter, to frame a man for indecent assault, and that didn't turn out too well for her, thankfully. 2010, 2 girls in Scotland made a false allegation against a man named Adrian Walton, and they received a slap on the wrist apiece. But you have to wonder what would happen to these people if the police hadn't done a thorough investigation, or if the truth hadn't come out. What would happen to the accused? 2010 at Surprise in Arizona. I love these American place names. Karen Godfrey accused her toy boy lover, Devin Ficklin, of raping and kidnapping at gunpoint 4 days after reporting a car had been stolen. And it turned out that, which not only that, she found 2 witnesses to back up her story. She actually crashed the car, and the truth came out, and thankfully an innocent man was spared jail. Another American case, Sheffield Township, Ohio. Joseph Melendez. Oh, this was amazing. This one. This was only an attempted rape, but it was Gabrielle Bracken and her husband set up this guy to well, I mean, they set him up and he sued them. They got $1.5 million damages. It was awarded. I don't know if he actually got it. 2016, an allegation of false allegation of attempted assault. But it's quite shocking. In the north of England, I found this only recently. Wigan, 13-year-old girl claimed to be attacked on a dirt track, and a man heard her cry out, and as did her 12-year-old friend. Not only that, they snapped the guy on a mobile phone. He was meant to have been cycling and indecently assaulted her. I don't know exactly what happened. Perhaps there was an altercation on a narrow path or something, but the police carried out a thorough investigation, and it turned out that they'd made this up for whatever reason, and the police ordered them to write the guy a letter of apology. But again, I mean, if a 12-year-old girl and a 13-year-old girl tell you that one of them was indecently assaulted by a stranger, what do you do? This is not not like these idiot feminists. What were you wearing, or how much had you been drinking? This isn't a situation where those sort of questions are even half valid. So the police took it seriously, but fortunately they carried out a proper investigation, and they ended up making these girls write a letter of apology. I don't really see what else they could have done. In 2017, there was a case in New Zealand which was even more shocking, because what happened was, this wasn't so much it wasn't indecent assault, but it was in New Zealand. A teacher became angry with a class of 11-year-olds, shouted at them, and they accused him of being, I can't find the entry. It's just incredible, these things, They insist, these feminist airheads insist these don't happen. Yeah, I mean, this was quite incredible. The teacher wasn't identified. What happened? Yeah, he claimed that this teacher had a 40-year career, so he was no spring chicken, and the girl accused him of being indecent with her in the classroom, and he had to face 7 charges of indecent assault, and 3 girls in his class, and the stroking her hair in a decent manner. Well, indecent assault. grabbing the breast of another. Oh, that's a different. But the truth came out. One of the girls admitted she'd lied about what she told the police, but then after that, the truth flowed, and it's just absolutely incredible that he's not just so cruel, but so mendacious. And again, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. They say, "Oh, it doesn't happen. It never happens." Go back to 1982. This one is even more remarkable, and I've included this. I like this one because it shows a rare example of an honest prosecutor. Black named Figueroa was arrested for raping an 11-year-old girl. You know, again, if an 11-year-old girl, not a 30-year-old woman claims she was raped when she was 11, but if an 11-year-old girl accuses a man of rape, he's in big trouble. She accused him of rape, and another girl backed her up. Forensic tests from the Jackson Memorial Hospital appear to confirm that she'd actually been raped. What happened next, though, was truly amazing because I find the actual entry. Oh no, I can't get this. Find the spelling of it. Oh yeah, that's right. But what happened was I mean, this guy was 57, so he was looking to spend the rest of his life in jail. What happened was a new prosecutor was put on the case, a bloke named Feldman, and he noticed for some anomaly with the forensic evidence, and he I mean, the girl actually said that she was bribed $3 not to tell anybody. This prosecutor noticed was an anomaly with the forensic evidence. It contained no sperm, and he ordered a retest, and a different result came back. He then re-interviewed the girl, and then again her story changed, and eventually she and her playmate admitted that they'd lied, they'd made it up. And I mean, this is an absolutely horrible thing to do to anybody, but to think that girls of that age could make up something like that, you know, we're told this, not only this doesn't happen, but it can't happen. So again, you always have to be very careful with these sort of allegations. Let's mention the Ghomeshi case again. Ghomeshi it wasn't a rape case, although it was overcoming sexual resistance by choking and like. Jian Ghomeshi was the victim of an absolutely grotesque conspiracy in Canada. I've got a fairly decent entry for it on the timeline. But what happened was he's a male. I think he's still a male feminist. So if he's still a feminist, I've only limited sympathy for him. But he was into rough sex or S&M. I don't necessarily sex, but he liked a bit of rough consensual rough play, and he busted some woman's rib or something, and she went to the press, and they decided to do a big smear on him. And what happened was a gaggle of demented witches led by Lucy Decatur came forward and falsely accused him of all manner of allegations dating back years. As I said, Canada, the statutes of limitations abolished about, around 1981. I don't know exactly, but there were no Canada is probably the worst country in the world for a man to be accused of sexual assault of any kind, because there are no jury trials, and the feminists have just so eroded due process. It's unreal. In fact, after the Ghomeshi case, they brought in legislation to further cripple a man's defence to consent to sex. But they plotted quite openly on social media to frame him, and when the case came to court, I think we discussed this in the celebrity cases and celebrity cases. When the case came to court, what happened was Ghomeshi had saved email messages, and it was a letter as well from one of his accusers, which showed that they lied, proved they lied. And the reaction to his acquittal, he didn't testify. Probably, I mean, normally I say a defendant should testify, but in an historical case, not necessarily a good idea. But there was a lengthy judgment, runs to 26 pages, and the judge cleared him of all the accounts. I mean, he was very diplomatic, as judges are, but he didn't actually say they lied outright, but they were lying, all lying. And what happened after that, after his acquittal, was he had this, instead of the media admitting they'd been duped, Lucy Decatur was given space to regurgitate the lies that had been spread in court, the lies that have been debunked in court. I mean, it's just absolutely outrageous. Just as outrageous, and in some ways even more so, because it kept this poor kid in jail for 3 years, was Tyler Kost in Arizona. This was a teenager who had been doing things he shouldn't have been doing with underage girls, since he was underage himself. But he there's a photo of him on the page. He's baby-faced, sort of cute. And what happened was 13 girls conspired through social media. 13, 1-3, a baker's dozen conspired through social media to frame him as a serial rapist. And he spent nearly 3 years in jail before his legal team got disclosure of Facebook messages, everything. And his attorney speaking after the case, the quality isn't that good, but I'll see if you can make this out.
3 years ago, many of you were here when there was a press conference that was held, where the sheriff at that time told you that Tyler Kost was a serial rapist. That was not true. We are very happy with Judge White's decision today. We regret that it took 3 years to get to this point. When we started this case, Tyler was facing over 375 years of prison. There were many victims that were alleged against him, and through a lot of hard work and a lot of effort, we were able to expose a number of problems with that case, starting with a Facebook blog, moving on to an individual who had a lot of animosity against Tyler, who was going out and trying to get people to make false allegations against him, moving on to a case detective, a case agent, who was eventually fired for being untruthful and for numerous violations of rules that a detective is required to follow in a case just like Tyler's. And those were violations that were committed in Tyler's case. In fact, the state's expert on forensic interviews, not our expert, the state's expert on forensic interviews said that one of that detective's interviews was the worst interview she had seen in her entire career, and it's a long career. So there were many, many problems with the case against Tyler, including many false allegations. You guys will recall, there was actually an allegation that one of these young ladies was forcibly raped, became pregnant, and had an abortion. And that when she was having the abortion, she told them that she had been raped. None of that was true. I don't think anybody's followed up on that and tried to figure out what actually happened there, but none of that was true.
So you can see that quite young girls do actually make false allegations, and in that case, they had a little bit more than a little bit of help from a corrupt police officer. You have to wonder how often this happens in not just in rape cases, but all manner of cases. You know, how many people are imprisoned for murders that they didn't commit, or perhaps murders didn't happen. You know. Finally, we come to one of the most absolutely outrageous cases in this database, the Makdessi case. This is absolutely incredible. Elise and Eddie Makdessi. She worked for the US Navy. She was a telephonist or something, and they hatched a plan. The idea was, you couldn't make this up, but they did. They hatched a plan to frame, well, the idea was to claim that she'd been repeatedly sexually harassed, even raped at work, which sounds a bit unlikely, you know, on a US day. Beg pardon. Early night tonight, I think. We were sleeping a lot of the day. They hatched a plan to claim she'd been raped at work, submitted to outrageous sexual harassment, and it's purely to claim compensation. She made a video about it, claiming she'd been sexually harassed and raped and sexually assaulted. Anyway, and that she reported it to a female supervisor, line manager, and who had ignored it. But they went one better than that. They decided to murder somebody and frame him. So Eddie contacted somebody who worked with his wife, a guy named Quincy Brown, and said that, they said that he liked to watch his wife making out with other men. And Brown turned up, and when he entered the house, Elise was tied to the bed. Eddie jumped out with a gun. Rape my wife, would you? Shot him dead, murdered the guy. The idea was to used that and the tape as proof that Elise had been victimised at work to claim lots and lots of money. That was their plan. Eddie's plan was at some point, perhaps from the very beginning, he changed his mind because while compensation would be very nice, compensation for his wife's violation and for a murder would have been better. So he stabbed her to death, and and then phoned the police and claimed that he'd walked in on his wife being violated, and shot her killer, rapist and killer. Well, he might have got away with it, but if you try something as outrageous as that, with a lot of money involved, people will be suspicious anyway. Police officers will be suspicious unless they are unworthy of being police officers. There's a few of those about, as I know from personal experience. They realised that they'd been duped, but by the time, oh hi Dave, whoever you are, coming towards the end of it now, but when this is finished, I'll edit it down. I'll put it on. I usually make the video private. Do you, Alan? Alexander. I'll make the video private, edit out the irrelevant stuff at the beginning, and then I'll put it on YouTube. And next month I will put this and the other video I did this month on the Internet Archive as well. Yeah. So what like they realised they'd been duped, but by that time Eddie had taken the money and fled the country to Russia, which has no extradition treaty. And what happened was he was regarded with suspicious. They thought he was an American agent or something, and he didn't like Russia. And an American journalist travelled to Russia, persuaded him to return home, said he could beat the rap, but he didn't. And he ended up getting a life sentence. But the real hello, Ollie. Are we down to one again? I don't know. Hello. The bottom line is that he ended up in an American prison with. Yes, I am based in London. Ollie Smith. Oh, yeah. Based in London. Can you two see each other? I haven't worked out how to use the live hangout with whatever it's called. I don't know. I've had a lot of problems as I've been ill and everything. I ended up being raped in prison himself repeatedly. Prisoners make at least one prison mate forced him to perform oral sex. So that's poetic justice. So anyway, conspiracies, false rape conspiracies do happen. They are quite rare, but not that rare. False allegations of rape are as rare as barking dogs, as I've said before. So that's about it. I'll probably have another live hangout in 2 weeks' time. Maybe the grand conspiracy. I was thinking of maybe doing the 3Ds of false rape allegations. That would be a good one. With regard to the false rape timeline, I'm still adding. I'd add a couple more to today actually. But I'm not having a lot. Well, I've got other things to do at the moment, but I want to. I've got about 4,200 and something. I want to get up to 4,500 by the end of the year, and maybe 5,000 by the end of 2020. I'm also going to. It cost me a lot of money. I'm going to buy an actual domain for falserape.org, because at the moment the timeline is piggybacking on my main site. But anyway, when somebody calls you anytime somebody calls you a conspiracy theorist for suggesting that a rape allegation may be a conspiracy, you know well that false conspiracies are real, and so are at times false rape conspiracies. So anyway, thank you for coming, both of you at the moment, and anyone who watched this later. Hopefully, another bingo bob behind that. Oh yeah, as I said, in a few days' time, this will be available on at my YouTube address. Please invite some more people next time. Probably 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time there'll be another live hangout. At some point, I'm going to do the Grand Conspiracy. That would be very interesting. And also maybe Tales of Trafficked Women. I published an article called Tales of Trafficked Women a while back. We can sort the wheat from the chaff because there's so much. Oh, magic! Thank you. There'll be how can I put it? The people trafficking and sex trafficking is actually real, but it's grossly exaggerated. And there's a lot of people making money and political capital out of it. Okay, so that's about it. I'm going to have an early. I've something to eat now, I think, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys sometime. If you haven't visited the International False Rape Timeline, if any of you haven't, here's the URL. You'll find it on my YouTube channel, and also on the Internet Archive. Just key in False Rape Timeline, International False Rape Timeline. Okay, thank you for coming, and I'll hopefully catch up with all of you again, or one of you now, in 2 weeks' time. Bye.